Hello everybody, hello Queens. This is now the final hour at our soul right destination through the Holy Land with a soul profound connection with your partner and your loved ones. I've got Daniel in the hot seat. See, he is starting to sweat. No, I'm just kidding. No. And as some of you might have noticed already, we did some lives during the day while we were traveling, and we've sort of started a conversation a little bit about feelings and thoughts and God. God is an important part of the picture to our relationship and how we grow together, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
I think it's actually one of the main reasons we are together. Yeah. And so now that Daniel has so graciously said yes to this event with us, then I think it's a beautiful opportunity for you girls and on a soul journey to sort of hear a voice that's very rarely heard, and that's the voice of a man who is truly authentic in his choices in life and who understands the value of his identity and his truth. And he now has a voice that can be heard, and he can be heard here with me, and so that you can also get an opportunity to get acquainted with what does that even mean when you are a man on a soul journey, because this whole sort of spiritual community, global spiritual community, is very, very strongly led by women, and I think we are missing the male voice, the voice that actually listens to women and who wants to be a part of a profound partnership with women and creating a beautiful life on this earth with women.
Yeah.
And I think you are one of those men, Daniel. And so I want to thank you for joining us. I think it's courageous, and I think it's bold, and I think it's super cool. And so thank you so much for being here. And I'm just going to sort of go ahead, really, right?
Yeah.
Let's just dive into it and ask you a few questions, and then we'll take the conversation from there. When we were driving in the car, we sort of touched on that we've been married for 10 years now. Yeah. And I asked you, what was it that sort of made you gravitate towards me as a person? And how did you come to that point to realizing that that was a good idea, that you wanted to share your life with me? And you used a word where you said, feeling safe.
Yeah.
It was a space that I created where you could feel safe. And I think that's a very interesting word, because I think that's a word that's basically patented by women. And for good reason, because we need to feel safe physically. It can be scary for us sometimes out in the world, and we need you to protect us, basically. And if you don't protect us, you basically become predators. So we need to feel safe around you physically and emotionally and in every level. And I don't think men think about that at all. You're not really sort of in a position where you have to think, oh, I need to feel safe around a woman. So I actually really want to ask you, can you elaborate a little bit more about what it means for you to feel safe around a woman, and how does that connect inside of you with your truth?
Yeah, well, I can try.
Thank you.
I suppose anyone needs to feel safe in a relationship, especially in marriage, and especially also men, emotionally safe. And I don't think that also men, if they're in a relationship where they don't feel emotionally safe and where they can be who they are without any masks and stuff like that, then I think it will be an unhealthy relationship. There will be some very moving this way.
No, it's okay.
So I think it's very important that both parties feel safe with each other and in each other's company, so they can be who they are and build a healthy relationship based on, again, as I said in the car, an authentic relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main foundations of it. That's feeling safe.
Yeah.
Both parties. Maybe for the woman, it's more a matter of feeling physically safe, as you said, because a man is maybe a bit more of a protector in a physical sense, but I think, and that's also what we've experienced very much in our relationship, maybe you're a bit more a protector on the emotional sense, in the emotional matters, also when it comes to our child and our kid, and in general I think that's where the women are very important in terms of creating the safety for the complete family from an emotional perspective, and that it's a main thing for a healthy family, healthy relationship, I think.
Do you think men think about this a lot, or like do they internalize these thoughts when it comes to women?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think most men. Again, I think most men need it, and they're looking for it, but it's not a conversation that we men have. Obviously, but that's how it is. Very, sometimes you can have these conversations, but usually I don't think it's something men are consciously thinking about when they choose to marry someone. Maybe unconsciously, obviously. I hope and I think and I hope that that's how it is. That they at least unconsciously are drawn to a specific partner because of that.
Yeah.
Because they can be safe in that relationship.
Yeah. So that actually leads to an interesting question: who's losing out the most, the men or the women, if this is not a conscious co-creating situation, so to speak?
Both.
Yeah. So it's not just the women who's left behind with men that don't really measure up, so to speak?
Yeah, you can say so, yeah. Again, because I think it's the basis for a healthy relationship, and if you don't have a healthy relationship, then it just goes wrong. Just goes wrong. And then that's not good for anyone.
How does that apply to your relationship with God?
It's interesting because in many terms, when we the Jewish tradition, right? When we talk about our relationship between a husband and wife, it's the same relationship we also talk about in our relationship with God. That we have a relationship of a husband and wife, which is a very close relationship. Again, where you need to feel safe in each other's presence, right? And obviously, if we talk about God, He creates the safety for us. Obviously, He's the creator of the world, and everything is under His protection, so to speak, right? He creates the framework for our world. But again, I think He also, in the same manner, needs us. He needs to, I don't know if you can say feel safe with us, but He needs us, right? He needs us to be part of this relationship, where there's also some kind of mutual trust and understanding, if you can say so. Obviously, on a different level, but I think it's the same. You can use the same terms.
Yeah. Do you think, or do you experience that when we have really good moments together, when you really feel deeply connected to me, that also reflects on your relationship with God? Do you feel the presence of God stronger, or do you feel more in love with God and spirit inside of you, so to speak?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the short answer. Yeah, I mean, again, as I mentioned, and as you know as well, I suppose you also talked about that, but I mean, the whole thing about marriage and our relationship with God is very much connected. And we also look at our marriage as a holy entity, right? It's two souls combining, creating two souls, half souls, so to speak, that combine and create this unity that you can only create through marriage, which is a very, very holy matter, and actually probably one of the most holy things we have, at least in our tradition, right? And there's a lot of emphasis on protecting it and caring for it and doing it in the right way, that in a healthy way, that's healthy for everyone, and not only for the family and the kids, but basically also for I think maybe for this entire society and community, that healthy families create healthy communities. Yeah. Which again, healthy families, it starts with a healthy relationship, a healthy marriage. And I think all of this is kind of combined and connected. So obviously when we have a strong connection, we also increase our connection and tightness with God. It goes hand in hand. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's nice. I was wondering if there has been times where you felt particularly challenged in your relationship with me, your wife, and how that made you feel, and what did you draw on? What did you do? Did you get angry with God? Did you feel alone? Or did you get angry with me in those challenges, those times?
So I think most of the severe challenges we've had, and obviously everyone has challenges, and that's part of every relationship, and I think also you need to acknowledge that. Also when you go into a relationship and get married, it's not all about purple love and everything, or pink love, whatever you call it, like very fancy on the cloud love. There's some challenges as well, but I think most of our challenges have been from external factors, if you can say so. Yeah. I think, for example, when moving to Israel, moving to, so to speak, a foreign country, going out of your comfort zone at home, I think that's put a lot of challenges on all of us, also on our kid, right? On a personal level, but it is obviously also as a family, because you do get challenged in all levels, emotionally and physically and financially, all these things that can put pressure on a family. So I think those have been some there have been some challenges there, and obviously also the times you've been in the hospital. You had some.
Yeah, but the times. So I ended up at hospital a few times.
A few times, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously
people don't know what. So maybe you.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's okay, I can.
Yeah, it's okay.
That, yeah.
It's okay.
So yeah, I mean, obviously when you gave birth to our daughter, there were some unfortunate complications, and yeah, I mean, you were they didn't really know what it was, and you were almost, let's say, you could have died there, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
We just had our first baby, and you were there, challenging and fighting for your life, basically.
Yeah.
I think that was that was hard, but you get through it together, and I think.
Were you scared? Were you scared? Yeah, you feel emotional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you scared?
Yeah.
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 Did you feel powerless?
I think so. Yeah. I think that's But also, I mean, it also strengthens the relationship, because and this was pretty early in our marriage, right? It was a year after we got married.
Yeah.
And she was born, and you fight it together, and you grow with it together, and you get through it together. And thank God you came through it, and we have have a beautiful and healthy daughter, and you also came through it. So that was one time, and then we had another time here in Israel,
Yeah.
which was actually a bit similar situation, maybe, I don't know, but again, also there were some, also you were in a serious situation, and
almost dying again.
Again, almost dying, and I think that's very challenging.
Yeah.
Obviously. But it's not it's not a thing. It's not your fault, right? It's not anyone's fault. It's just situation that you're in and that you're put through, and you need to handle it.
Do you think?
Again, but I think again that those situations really they strengthen a relationship, and they make you unbreakable. And obviously we have our fights here and there. And
we do. Do you want to tell me about the fights? Sylvia, she's dying to hear.
Yeah.
Because you're a strong character, very strong character. But interesting thing about your personality is that you also have such a gentle demeanor about you, and people often they don't know how strong you are. They might see just this very gentle and very passionate and loving guy. But you are a man who's willing to take the battle and fight for what's yours and what you believe in. You're stubborn. Probably. So am I, right? I mean, and that's my point. You are a very, very strong character, and so am I. I'm probably the dynamic force of our relationship.
Yeah, it's in a different way, right?
Yes.
We're strong
in different ways. Yeah. But I think it's interesting when we're talking about the fights. Because if you have two strong characters who are both rather stubborn, and that's what Sylvia is referring to a little bit when she says, how do you deal with a fight in between, each other and you both right? Yeah. What is your approach to it? Because it's dangerous to fight, don't you think? I think so.
Could be.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's already interesting.
So I wanted to say that I think in our case, and I always notice that it's not dangerous to fight in our home. We can do that, and
why?
No one is walking away.
Why?
Right? But
why is it not dangerous to have a fight in our house?
Because we know we're that connected, and we know each other well, and again, because I know we both look at it as this, like, our marriage is a holy unity, and it can't break, and a fight can't break it. Mm-hmm. And we're both aligned with that. Mm. So even though we have a fight, and maybe some very loud fight, that's happened once in a while. It's okay. We get over it. And one thing you do, and we spoke about this a lot, that you just walk away, walk away into the bedroom, not walking away out of the house or just leaving. In that sense, that's what I said. That we all know that none of us would do that. We're not walking out because of a fight. No. And so it's again being safe. It's safe to have a fight.
It has to be.
Not always pleasant, and we get angry, and we probably shouldn't do that. That's not healthy. But we're human beings, and we do our best. But I think the most important thing is that we get over it pretty fast. And again, you just you walk into the bedroom and you think of it and for yourself, and I walk around and do my thing, and then we get over it. Yeah. And I hope this is also something that we have taught our daughter as teaching her, that even though sometimes things can get a bit intense and we get angry at each other, and it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's safe, and nothing will happen. Mm. And we'll get past this and on, and we will, and always get stronger from it. I think also that's one of the things. Every time you have a fight about something, we also talk about it afterwards, and we get to some kind of understanding, and we talk about each other's perspective, and we move on, and we get stronger, and And so it's also a way to build our relationship, that we build it.
Can I make a comment? I think actually Sylvia is onto it very much when she says when both are right.
Yeah.
I think that's the key point.
Yeah.
Because when you are having an argument, it's just a situation where two realities are being represented, and both of these realities, those experiences, are actually just basically stating, I want to be heard.
Yeah.
And so what I think is important to me when this happened in our life is I need to be capable of carrying your truth. I need to know where you're coming from. And so if the loudness of the words are bigger than the truth that lies behind it, then I will walk away. And then you need a break and I need a break, because we can't get to that point where we can carry each other's truths. Yeah. That's really how I see it. So when we have that confrontation, it's where I am challenged the most to carry your fears.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a man is angry, if we're talking about a good man, obviously, who's involved, like really invested in his relationship. I don't think that he is in an argument with you if it's not because he's afraid of something.
Yeah, that's probably true.
If he's, yeah, I think that's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Something that worries you, that comes out the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then I feel that you are telling me what to do, you becoming an authority, and then I do not appreciate that. Right? I always respond very, very aggressively to people taking away my freedom.
Yeah.
I'm just too wild at heart in a sweet way. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
It always comes down to that.
That's probably true, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're in an argument with someone, and I'm talking to the women here, who doesn't talk from that level where there's a fear behind it, then it's because he wants to dominate you. Then it's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I haven't tried it, but
No, obviously, but you know, would that make sense to you?
probably, yeah.
Do you think there's a certain level of logic to it?
Yeah, but maybe then you would call that man abusive.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole different situation. It's,
Exactly.
Again, that's an unhealthy relationship
Exactly.
where no one feels safe.
You're not safe.
I don't think that.
You can't grow in that.
No.
You can't give yourself to a person like that.
Yeah.
They're not going to change.
Yeah.
Because once you feel that power and you go back to it, then you're hooked.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's something you learned as a survival instinct when you're a child.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. So to Sylvia, you're both right. You're right on that one.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to carry that.
Yeah.
That's your next level, Sylvia.
Yeah. I suppose also it's very much a matter of the dynamic in the relationship, like, and the personalities, and each one handles it differently, and you know, again, you walk away and that's a good thing, and it works, you know, it works to calm things down, and so actually that's probably a good way to do it.
Yeah, well, it has to be respected, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
again, I'm saying it's about the dynamics of the relationship, and you know, maybe also I understood when you did that, for example. And,
Yeah,
you know, I would be like why
yeah,
are you walking away?
Yeah, you did not like that.
No.
You come back here. And I was like, no!
But I feel that we didn't finish
the conversation.
You know,
Yeah.
left things open, and but maybe that's the right thing to do, because there is no solution to it.
There's no solution to it when it's not ready to be resolved.
Exactly, not in that instance. There's no solution. And so,
Yeah.
it's a good way just to let it go. That's what you do, right? Just let it go.
Yeah, well, you let it go because you want to be heard yourself, and
Yeah.
you want to carry the one you love.
Yeah.
You don't let it go because you dismiss each other.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference here. It's really because you respect yourself and you respect the relationship.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. I want to ask you one question. How do you feel after a fight? In between, it's not quite fixed. It's not quite, okay yet. How does that make you feel in your body?
Terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good, and yeah, I don't know what more to say to that. I mean, it's just when things are unresolved and it doesn't feel good. But I think also maybe the time does its thing. After it's just calmed a bit down, then I would feel better. My body will feel better as well.
Yeah. Do you feel it in your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it hurts.
It hurts.
It hurts.
So you'd say you hurt just like I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel it in your soul?
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah?
Heart and the soul, I suppose. Yeah, maybe very much connected in that sense.
What words?
And again, maybe on a deeper level, you could say it's going back to the looking at the marriage as a holy unity. You feel that it breaks the unity to some extent, right? I mean, you can feel that there are some cracks in it, and that's what hurts maybe at the end of the day. Even though I understand consciously, that's also what I said, that we're still in a safe space, we're not going to break it, but it still gives cracks in it, right? And again, as I said, it's not a healthy way to deal with things, arguing and being angry. But it happens, and that's what it is. But yeah, it does hurt.
It does hurt on multiple levels, because that's what I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel it very much in my body.
Yeah. It does. It does. Yeah, and yeah.
I think I'd say living with such an intimate relationship with God that we do, it's embedded in everything that we do and the choices that we make, and it's the foundation of our values and our path in life, then I think you just end up becoming so embedded in this symbiosis that when you end up in a situation that's remotely sort of throwing you off course, then it's almost like an allergic reaction, because you're so tuned in, you're so something so dead, I don't know, so you're so deep in it somehow that for instance, an argument, that's how I feel it. It will have a crushing effect on me, because I really feel that I'm a part of violating something sacred.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, and obviously we also say that God, he's an end of the partner in the marriage, in the relationship, and when we argue, we kind of partly cut the tie to him and to God and God's energy, and that hurts on the soul level.
It does hurt.
It hurts on the soul level.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good way to look at it.
Yeah. Thank you for
Oh,
sharing.
Yeah, it also makes it serious business.
It is serious. I do think it's serious.
Breaking your tie with God to some extent because of an argument.
That's that's you have to ask yourself: is that really worth it?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. There's literally nothing in life that's worth it. That you want to break your ties with God, and relationship you have with the Creator, why on earth would you want to jeopardize that?
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
I'm not saying that I'm at that level where I can live by that philosophy. I try.
No, but that's the ideal, and that's what we're working towards.
Yeah.
Right? And again, as we said, we're humans, and relationship is a relationship, and have its ups and downs. But still, I mean, still think that we can have an ideal, something to work towards.
Yeah.
In making the relationship even better.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, ideally there shouldn't be any arguments, and there shouldn't be any fighting, and I mean, it's just bad.
It hurts.
It hurts.
I think it's not because it's bad. I think we should be careful with that. Yeah. But it hurts, and I know it also hurts the Creator.
Yeah, it does.
It does hurt.
Yeah.
It's painful.
Yeah. I suppose we can even say it in a broader perspective, right? I mean, even in relationships with other people.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't have to be a marriage.
No, a marriage is very much...
But the marriage is so concentrated.
It's very concentrated. And that's what I said again. I mean, the marriage is the basis of communities, and like how we relate to other people. It's
the family.
The family, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the basis, and this is... So, in the end of the day, the relationships we have within the family will also reflect how we deal with other people. I think.
And the Creator.
And the Creator, again, it's all connected.
Yeah.
All part of the same.
Yeah.
All children of God, right?
Exactly.
And yeah.
Thank you.
I don't think any... If you look at God as our father, parents don't like their kids fighting, right? It also hurts when the kids are fighting, and
the kids are hurting.
And the kids are hurting, and the parents are hurting, and everyone's hurting, right?
Yeah.
And the same way, God hurts when we fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a serious matter.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything we should take lightly, but I do think in order to sort of give ourselves a chance, you want to look at what's behind the words, and I need to carry someone else's truth.
Yeah.
Because then you take a responsibility, and you allow yourself to have your own truth also.
Yeah.
There has to be room for that.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, it's something we all have to work on, I suppose, and be better at. But
creating space for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I think we're good at it.
Yeah, I think so.
But again, when we argue, it's because
there's no space for anybody.
There's no space for anybody, right? At that moment.
No, not in that moment.
And also, I think we keep it pretty also sober, even when we argue. But again, when you get into an argument and you get angry, and sometimes you can also say things that you shouldn't say, right?
You can't take it back.
You can't take it back. There's some things you just can't take back.
Yeah.
And you need to think about that, and that's also why getting into an argument, there is a risk in that sense.
There is.
You can do things like saying things that
that you just can't fix.
Can't fix afterwards, or it's more difficult to fix at least.
Yeah.
I don't think we've reached that point. I think even in argument we're conscious about that.
Yeah, but we're
conscious about
a lot of things because we live the life that we do.
Exactly.
So we have to apply ourselves to certain standards.
Yeah.
And it just means there's certain things we just can't get away with.
Also because we understand that the importance of the spoken word.
Yeah, I've talked about that a lot in the group, that the spoken word is creation and making.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you speak, what you speak is being created.
Yeah.
That it's real.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, it's real.
It is real.
That's how God created the world.
Yeah, with speech.
With speech.
Yeah.
So you can't dismiss that.
Yeah.
You know, thought, speak, and action. That's creation in its making.
Yeah, it even comes down to, I mean, you always hear these jokes about marriage, right?
Yeah.
About the man and the woman and
which one?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that I never liked these jokes because I understand the importance of when you speak. It's
that's
doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
It's like not honoring the marriage, you know, even though it's just a joke, but a joke, you know.
Here's some water. Do you know what? When we first met, that was one of the things I noticed about you, and I honestly thought you really reflected some qualities that I thought was very precious. And one of the things was that you really didn't like jokes about marriage. Because all of them seems to be extremely derogatory.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of them seems to have a very sort of derogatory, mostly towards women.
Yeah.
And mother-in-laws.
Yeah.
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 I think in general, within the male sort of group thing, when you team up and it's football hour, that's what happens. That's in my head. That's what happens. You know. See. And you not liking that, that was for me a major thing.
Yeah.
I really felt that that's a human being that has a really good character, that really understands that you cannot talk something down that you're supposed to value.
Yeah.
And I know that that's just jokes, but it's a tradition. So it's not just a joke anymore. It's a culture.
Yeah.
And it's not helping us.
No.
It's not helping anybody. And it's not funny anymore.
No, you're true. You're right. I mean, it's true. And
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I never liked the concept of bachelor parties.
Yeah, no, you don't like bachelor parties.
It's like, okay. What is it saying that? I mean, at least that's.
Oh, that's true. Share that one. That's a good one. You don't like bachelor parties. Come on, Daniel.
Yeah, well, again, it's a whole concept of getting married and being like, okay, this is your last night as a free person or whatever. And that's, at least in pop culture, that's what it's told, right? And then all these crazy things and
yeah.
And it's like, okay, for me, like marriage, and also when we got married, beginning of something new and exciting, and I also feel that this is really the point where, especially after we've been married, and this is really where things begin, and it's where you can really start growing as a person,
as a human being,
and also together with you. And
would you say that when you're in a good relationship, where you've really teamed up with someone who's in alignment with your truth, your authenticity, and your values, because I think those are key words here, would you say it becomes representative of freedom being in such a relationship? Yeah.
Never thought about it in that way, but it's a good way to put it. It's a good way to put it, and again, because when you're going back to being safe in a relationship, you can be who you are, and you can grow, and you have support. You have someone who supports you, and that gives enormous freedom, I think, and also power to do things and grow in all levels.
Yeah.
Much more than when you're just by yourself, even though you physically can run around, do things, and you're not limited in any way. You don't have to be home at a certain time and pick up the kids or whatever, right? Which is again going into also the fact that as a marriage you also create a family, so we also have
there's a construction.
There's a construction, exactly. But I think this is where true freedom is to some extent.
How did you grow within these 10 years that we have been married, do you think? What is the things that you've noticed the most?
I don't know how to answer that.
Ooh.
It's because again, things have, obviously, if you look at myself now and 10 years ago, I mean, there's a big difference, right? And
Huge.
on many levels. Obviously, I'm still the same person. Right?
Yeah.
Same personality, same Daniel, but you also grow older. That's also one other thing, right? But being married, and especially being married with you, and being married in a framework of being very conscious about spirituality and our tradition, and obviously, again, you grow, and we also look at it. I think we work with it in a very practical and very practical and very growing matter. I don't know how to say, but it's something that we work on very consciously.
We talk about it.
We talk about it, yeah. We talk about it. We also do it, right?
We talk about, did you hear this and that person?
Yeah.
Have you read this book? I'm going to send you a link about this speaker and this coach and this. I mean, I think it's an ongoing conversation.
It is. And also, again, in the Jewish tradition, where there's a lot of focus on putting things into action. Like it's very much about doing the things, and not only making it into a philosophy or talking about it, actually doing it. So so when it also makes being present in a marriage much more, it's very actionable. Like
you can't skip corners, can you?
You can't skip corners, right? So you kind of also, if you take it seriously, you will grow. I mean, you're forced to grow.
Yeah. That's what you signed up for.
Yeah, exactly. But you do step by step, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
God doesn't throw you something that you can't handle.
Yeah.
Which is a brutal thing to say sometimes, because life can be so very harsh.
Yeah.
And so dreadfully scary.
Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know this.
Yeah.
We've been challenged a lot.
Yeah.
From the very beginning.
Yeah. And again, also because we have that spiritual framework that also helps you deal with these things.
Yeah.
It helps you manage it.
Yeah.
And grow with it. And get beyond it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say God is a part of management in our life? He's like the leading manager.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's always a discussion, right? When you talk about God and being the creator and being the boss of the world, basically, right? I mean, how much should you just lean back then and just say, well, everything will be taken care of, compared to taking action and being responsible. And I think it's very important that, first of all, you need to take responsibility of your life and your marriage and your relationship.
Yeah. In any relationship, it doesn't matter.
Anything in life, basically.
Yeah.
Right? You need to take responsibility, but understanding that in the end of the day, it's not all about your actions. It's not all about you. It's not all about what you do and don't do. I mean, there is a higher power in the world that will take care of things and lead you. But in that, you need to do what you have to do. You need to take responsibility.
It's actually it's really about understanding the principle of the masculine and the feminine energy, because the masculine often will be representative as the action maker, the builder, the construction, and where the feminine is often the receiver, right? She will be the intuitive knowledge here. She will be the one who adapts quicker to new situations. And understands sometimes what needs to be done faster than the man, because she taps into that energy naturally, or that's the feminine representation. So what you're basically saying here, it's really a balancing act between the two within yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need to hold both containers.
Yeah. Well, that's maybe a different discussion also regarding masculinity and femininity and different powers and attributes in this world, right? that we talk a lot about.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, being a receiver versus being
The maker.
The giver, whatever. Yeah, there needs to be a balance.
Yeah.
A balance in that.
Yeah.
And that's also again part of marriage, right? It's the feminine and male, masculine energy coming together.
Yeah.
And again, we also understand that at the end of the day, God is also the perfect combination of those two.
Of the both. Of
those attributes, right? Femininity and masculinity.
Yeah.
And it needs to be in harmony.
Yeah.
Right? And again, that's also why marriage is considered very holy. Because only in a marriage you can get that.
Yeah.
Harmony, I suppose.
Balancing the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In a healthy relationship, obviously.
Yeah. I think Anna had a question about. I think the way that I read her question to you was a bit more. There was more to it than just one question.
Okay.
And the way that I understand it is, what do you do with someone who's just not committed to you? How do you handle yourself in a situation with a man who doesn't seem to show up in a way that you would like it to? What is your advice to a woman who somehow is not moving forward in the right way with someone that she's interested in? What would you say as a man to a woman in that situation?
She's moving forward with someone who's not interested in...
Well, that's how I understand it. What do you do with someone who's not really showing up for you? You know, who's not committing to you, but probably should.
Yeah. I suppose it's also a question in which stage is in. I mean, it's just a generic. If you're dating, for example, and considering something more serious, then the obvious question, I think, is just walk away.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I know you would do that.
Yes, I would.
And you've done that also, right?
Yes, I have.
With others that you were dating.
Yeah.
Right? They weren't committed, and you were
They weren't committed.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But that's because they didn't honor my values.
Yeah.
They didn't, not that they have to bow to me. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They just had a different value system.
Yeah.
So if they needed to do things differently, okay. But that means I will do things differently too. And I'm not holding back.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping my life course and my dreams because you need to be at a different party and not with me.
Yeah.
You can do that. Go. It's okay. I do not resent it. But don't come calling on my door because I've moved on.
Yeah.
I said that to you too.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did I do that?
Well, I mean, you just said it. You just said that. No, I mean, you're very open about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have time to play around.
No.
If you want this, you want this. If you don't, you don't. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's.
Do you think that's a healthy approach in general when you're communicating with men?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. To be direct.
Yeah.
To state what it is you want.
Yes.
And to state the terms.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did.
Yeah. But that's interesting also because when you look at in the more religious world, the Jewish religious world, right? When people are dating.
Well, it's a whole different concept.
I know it's a whole different concept,
Yeah.
but again, it's just to mention that it's like you date under a certain. I mean, the terms and the conditions are kind of known from the start.
Yeah.
So to speak, right? And you date and you date for some time and
And then you decide.
You decide, right?
And
is this it or not?
Yeah.
And then if not, okay.
But that's not how it works for the rest of the
No,
world.
it doesn't work like that. I know. And it's not saying that people should do that in that way.
But I think you should be very direct nevertheless, whether you are in a structured dating system or versus a non-structured. And I would say it's the same problem.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it would maybe be healthy to have a bit more framework about it, or be a bit more. as you do, right? It's like
assertive.
Assertive, maybe that's a good way to put it.
To me,
Because
it was.
if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And,
Yeah.
and keep playing around with it for years. I don't think it's healthy for anyone.
It's not healthy, and you're not going to get your dreams. You're not going to get to that place where you can say things have changed, and it's good, and now we are moving forward.
Yeah.
You're just not.
Yeah.
You're going to get stuck. And I think it's actually one of the greatest fears of women. It's that thing, but can we really do that?
Yeah.
Are we really allowed to make such a demand? Because then I'll just be left alone.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it's scary.
No, I think it's super scary.
Yeah.
And I think that fear is actually holding us back to creating what we should be creating.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when you say being assertive, it's not coming to the first date and say, okay, this is it,
No.
this is, you want it or not, right? That's the terms. Right?
I don't know. No, okay.
It will work, I don't know, but
yeah.
No, but yeah. But definitely, I think being conscious about it is.
You have to be conscious about what it is you want.
Exactly, what it is you want.
How long? How much time does he have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Put a time schedule to this. Put it, not a deadline, but you need to ask yourself, what is reasonable?
Yeah.
Because is this a game?
Yeah.
Or is this real?
Yeah.
I've always experienced, I have to say, in communication with men, the more clear you are, the more relieved they are. In the sense they really enjoy a woman where they are being told what's going on.
Yeah.
I think some of the things that men find very perplexing when it comes to women is they just don't get our moods. They don't understand how quickly they change. They don't understand the emotions behind it, because it's not that you don't have them, but they just move differently.
Yeah.
And so you can't read our minds, basically, right? And you try and you fail, and then we think you're idiots, right?
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. So talking to men, you need to be direct.
Yeah.
And somewhat simple. Don't complicate it. Just don't.
Yeah.
Because you don't understand what it means if it's not direct.
Yeah.
You try to read into it, and then you misunderstand. Right?
But I think it's a good approach to people in general.
Oh, of course.
Communication in general, right? Being direct, and in the right way, obviously.
Yeah, but it's just when it comes to matters of the heart.
Yeah.
Then it's just so delicate, isn't it?
It's true.
It's very delicate.
It's very delicate. And it is. Yeah. So, I mean, sorry.
No, go ahead. So,
no, just to continue the question, because I think, that's an answer before you get married or before you're into a serious relationship. But if you're already married or you have kids, then suddenly things become more complicated. I think we can't just walk away, and then probably it requires a bit more work, so to speak.
Yeah.
But then that's a different situation, because then you have a commitment.
Yeah.
One thing is the relationship, another thing is the kids, right? And they're also part of this suddenly. Yeah. And I suppose for most kids, they need a mother and a father together, happy.
Yeah.
I think that's the ideal situation, obviously, if it can work out. So in that situation, I think maybe it requires more work, and maybe the answer is not that simple. Just walk away.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not an expert in those things. I just know sometimes, sometimes it seems that some people may be, giving up too fast.
Yeah.
In such a situation where there's this already is a commitment, and already is a deeper relationship.
Right. I think it differs from culture to culture. I mean, the culture where we're from in Denmark, with the highest divorce rate in the world, you just have to wonder what happened, because it's such a tiny country, and it's a very happy country. It has a lot. So what happened?
Yeah, and it's a norm that, okay.
It's a norm, yeah.
Your parents are divorced, and again, it's not saying it to judge anyone.
No, but something's not, something's off.
Yeah.
Something happened, and I think it's the fact that nobody really understands the value of the relationship any longer.
Probably, yeah.
It's really come down to the question: what do I gain from it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we really live in a time where self-enlightenment and self-expression and the self, the me, is in focus constantly, and when you are in a relationship, you're not that important. It's the family.
It is the family
that's important.
Exactly. Again, you're part of a greater.
And if you can't live by those terms, then it's going to be very difficult.
Exactly. I mean, you're part of a whole unity, right?
Yeah.
Going back to that.
Yeah.
It's not just about you.
It's not just about you.
It's about the unity. It's about God. It's about the family, right?
And you have to make sacrifices.
Yeah, you do. Exactly. But that's also the way you grow. You grow, as a person, you grow with that. I mean, making sacrifices, it's difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel is I've grown a lot from it, and I think everyone does.
Yeah.
Being in a family, being in a relationship, having kids, and all that.
What is your definition of a successful relationship?
I think it's a relationship where, I mean, a lot of the things we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
Growing together and obviously being happy. Liking being in a relationship. I think at the end of the day, if you have a healthy relationship, that's how you will feel.
Yeah.
And maybe having a healthy relationship, that's a successful relationship. I don't know what other words to put to it.
I know what I could say.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I always have something to say. Try and stop me. I actually like waking up in the morning and not dreading it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It sounds a bit weird. I think it's all about, sometimes if you're in a bad relationship, the worst thing is waking up in the morning and knowing that badness continues. Yeah. So waking up in the morning knowing that this is my life, that's already the best part.
Yeah, it's true. There's something about waking up in the morning and how you feel.
Yeah. It will tell you. It will tell you everything.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I also remember that when we got married.
Yeah.
We woke up in the morning. Was like, this is it.
This is it.
This is good.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah. It's a good life.
Still have it that way.
Yeah. I don't look at my life with you, sort of measured by happiness. No, I really don't, and I don't mean that because I want to be impolite or anything like that. I actually I measure it more as something that just keeps getting better, and it keeps me want to know more about what we can do and how we do it. And I think this moment right now is such a typical Anya Daniel moment, even though we've never done this before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I think there's such a vibrancy to our relationship, and we carry each other with such grace.
Yeah. I agree with that.
We're just super good friends.
That's the growth in it. Like
That's the growing, yeah.
It's the growing.
That's the growth.
It's the growing.
Yeah.
Grow and
Yeah.
build them.
And then you just don't stop.
You don't stop.
You just don't stop. But you don't stop because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's good.
Even when it's not so much fun,
Yeah.
it's still good.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. But again, also understanding the importance of it.
Yeah.
Then you push. I mean, again, you take responsibility for it and you push
Yeah.
forward. Right?
You push.
You
Yeah,
both
yeah,
do. Right?
yeah,
You make it
yeah.
happen.
Yeah, we do.
Right.
Yeah. We want this.
You want this, and,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It's good.
Yeah. Yes. Sometimes when I think you've been really annoying,
Yeah.
then no, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It never happened. No, when those moments pop into my mind, then I'm like thinking to myself, "Oh man, I can't believe it. I'll never get rid of him," because I know that you're never gonna let me go.
That's true.
And you take such a pride in it.
Yeah.
And it makes me so proud of you. And I think that's important. I think it's super important that a woman can be proud of her husband or her man or her precious one.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for men too.
Yeah.
If she's not proud of him, then he starts feeling small.
Yeah.
Then he's failed somehow.
Totally true.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Did we cover everything? It feels like we've been on a journey here in this conversation.
Covered a lot of areas.
Yeah?
Went from one thing to another. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Yeah, it's
talked
great.
about hardships and creating deeper bonds and anger.
Anger.
Talked about anger. We talked about God.
Yeah.
We talked about setting boundaries with you not really being honored the right way with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about life.
We talked about life.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about life. That's life.
That's life.
Yeah.
Marriage
Live
is
it.
life.
Marriage is life.
Yeah.
You guys, this is it from us today. It's been a journey. I'm just going to go over here to the camera. I want to say thank you to you,
You
Daniel.
need to come a bit this way, right? So
I
you
don't
see-
know.
Okay.
I hope I'm in the frame, or else, you'll get some of my hair. It's been amazing, and it's time for us to say goodbye to all of you. These lives that we've been doing all day, they will be in the group and they'll stay there for a while, so you can all see them at your own convenience. And I really, really hope you're going to write something nice to Daniel, and I'll let him know that you really enjoyed his bravery and his candor and his massive support to the feminine revolution. Woo! Right?
Yeah.
You're a massive supporter.
I'm a massive supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for being here and having so much fun with me and enjoying this.
Thank you for having me and
Yeah.
all the work you're doing.
Thank you. I'll see you girls soon, and let's talk more in the future about Soul Connections and how we can take it even higher and higher. Love you all, and now remember, love your life. Bye.
Bye bye.